Hello, friends. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. If you are returning, you're very welcome here. If you're new, you're very welcome here. And also, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and the videos. Wow, I've got to get used to saying that. For those of you that are here for the first time, I'm Ananda Rose. And I have been doing this work on YouTube for the last for almost 3 years now. The channel went live on YouTube on the 22nd of February 2023. Now, it's a channel that has always been intending to support starseeds and light workers, and we do the best we can with that. We kind of slowed down with that mission in the last year for various reasons. And I believe that we may take it up again this year coming up in 2026. However, today, thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate your love and support always, whatever your situation is with regards to the channel. I have another channel called Light Language Messenger. I showcase people's work there, as I showcase it here, but a lot more of the light language transmissions go through on Light Language Messenger. So catch that if that is a possibility for you. Today, I am going to be doing a karakia very shortly. That is an opening prayer in Te Reo, which is the language of our First Nation original peoples here in New Zealand, where I live. Okay, and they are the Maori, if you didn't know that. Um, And we have ancient connections to the Maori, a lot of us that have moved to New Zealand. Our connections go back to Wētā times, and they were the ancients. And so you'll often find that people who have a connection to Wētā people, as well as Lemuria, will gravitate to this part of the world, which is Oceania, meaning Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands, as well as Hawaii. So, how are you, friends? How are you going? And I hope what I just said makes you think about yourself. And if you're attracted to New Zealand or Oceania or one of the Pacific Islands, why? Or Hawaii, maybe. So let's do our karakia first, and then we're going to bring through a message. I have a little bit of a story to tell you, and we're going to bring in a message honoring the ancient messengers that are coming into our world in this time and space. I've had a couple of experiences these last few days that I want to share with you. All right. Now, I noticed about putting the video on musicians mode that it's adjusting the volume automatically, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave it where it's at, which is under noise removal default, and hope that the singing comes through because it's picking up my voice. All right. So let's hope for the best. And of course, the singing bowl. I'll bring the singing bowl a little bit closer to us and let's see what goes on with that in this video because gosh, I've been listening to the other videos and I'm thinking, wow, it just suddenly drops the volume and then I don't know, you would have to turn it up or whatever. It feels like there's a sound issue, but it actually isn't. Zoom has done some upgrades and, well, I don't know why it should drop the volume, but it does. All right, friends, take a moment to breathe. Just breathing. I feel like I need to bring a feather in, so bear with me 1 second, please. I've got a crystal. I've got the selenite crystal, pink selenite. Got the feather. And just breathing as we are being fanned by the feather. Taking a deep breath, keeping our feet firmly planted on the ground, just bringing in the energy of clarity, cleansing clarity, clearing ourselves. Koronafat, koronatsfaru, tabahuli baurunawat, erenahut tabahurnamahut. Daruna mahu te wharanahu e na. Era mahu e te wharanahu e na tu te pahu runa te wha. Om. 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 Kira makutubana, tubahi tubarano, utiligara, o chilamakutufarana hawete, and Zrakatafa orama hawetete. I'm going to use a selenite to cleanse for us, all of you. Ahilamatu. And then cleansing. Now, I would like you, if you have some crystals around you, to use one of them. It doesn't have to be a selenite. Just put on your third eye. Closing it now. Taking a breath. Releasing. Taking a breath in through your nose. This time, take that breath into the third eye and into the crown and into the altar major chakra that's there. And then release it through the mouth, okay? So let's do it together. We're clearing that pathway through the nose, into the third eye, over to the crown chakra, back at the altar major, here where your crown, your skull meets your spine, and then let it out through the mouth. Okay, so let's do it one more time. We'll do it a third time. This time, try to hold your breath before you release it. Pause with your breath and count in your mind's eye, maybe from 1 to 4, a little more, however long you can keep the breath in. Okay, let's do it again. Asira maheno to bahai shvenaka de bokorna getete. Und mekla utana to fai na tsukurbachili de bashte. O arana to erut ochn nelela utsu rem etnente to fahara nemeke. Azebeketa foro kibakita bita auto to fa bitata ba ito ba da ba dito fa de ba dot spa ito be edevit to fa. Mbelt suram na balaksin likilshte bimech kur fa alo tine e aulia sej tva orul me uzro la urvesko. Sierra Hawete. Wow, I feel a sudden heat going through Makturna Huta Urunaha. Please, if you feel like you need to keep doing the breath, taking the breath in through the nose, holding the crystal. Also try to look into your third eye. Get out. Keep taking that breath. Crystal on the third eye, breathing into the nose, into your third eye. Take the breath into your third eye, into the crown. At the altar major, hold that breath. Looking into the third eye, which is here. Closed, eyes closed, looking into that spot there. And in your mind's eye, hold the breath, look into the eye, into the third eye, and count. When you cannot count any longer, release the breath. All right, as we are finishing that breath, take a moment to come back. I'll have a sip of water. If that's how you're feeling, have a sip of water, my friends. Interesting energy today, or for this video, I should say. It's an interesting energy, but we welcome it. So I feel like it's got to do with the topic today. I had a visitation by two amazing creatures this week. And the first one, I didn't even know it was on, coming into my space, but it did. And I'll tell you this, and I'm going to share my screen very shortly because I'd like you to see what I'm talking about. So I'll share the screen because I think it's important that we go to that screen and share it with you. And hopefully I've got the right one. Okay, so what am I sharing now? I'm sharing the screen of the Wētā. I just want to show you the image of the Wētā. Now, if you're wondering what a Wētā is, it is an insect that is native to New Zealand. And let's just have a look and see who's giving us information. So the Wētā refers to unique, large, flightless insects from New Zealand known as giant crickets. Now, this is being taken from Google, all right, and that's telling us all about the Wētā. Now, iconic for conservation efforts, but also refers to the famous special effects effects company called Wētā Workshop. So New Zealand has a company called Wētā Workshop. Wētās are large, often spiny insects related to crickets with over 100 species in New Zealand. Courtesy of that AI, by the way, AI overview, which is pulling it in from Wikipedia, because if you read Wikipedia, it's telling you the same thing. I want us to look at an image of a Wētā, and I'll show it to you. I had a good one of the Wētā that came to our, so I'm just gonna use that one. And let's share that screen there. I'm sorry if it's this way, friends, but this is the only way I can do this. I don't really want to be downloading anything. That's what the Wētā looks like, if you can see it. That's it. That's the Wētā. Now there's various Wētās, like I've said. There are some of them that are giant Wētās that if you kill them, you can get a fine for like 100,000 New Zealand dollars is what I just read. And I thought, oh gosh, I hope not. But I had a situation where I was trying to save a Wētā. And it seemed to look more like this Wētā here, if you can see this on the screen. And yeah, the Auckland tree Wētā, I think that's the one. That was on my windowsill. A few nights ago, I'll come back, I'll stop sharing the screen and I'll come back to it. So a few nights ago, I was in bed, probably about 1 a.m. in the morning. I was struggling to fall asleep, and I've had that happen in the last week where sleep has been a little bit elusive. And that's new because I generally sleep very well. Anyway, and then I suddenly heard this drumming on my window, like really drumming, like almost a rhythmic drumming, like it was following notes. And I thought, what the heck is that? And it was on the window in my bedroom that faces the driveway. So, I could have anybody could stand at the bottom and hold up a stick or something that was long enough and touch the window and tap on it. And I thought, wow, what is this? And what the heck's going on? My house is not very soundproof, so even if I cough in my bedroom, somebody can hear me across the way. That's the kind of building it is. Anyway, so I thought, well, I am not having that because I just want to see who that is. And so I didn't turn the light on because normally I've learned, I come from South Africa. Don't turn the light on because when you turn the light on, anybody outside can see who you are and what your movements are. Leave the light off, but try to open the blinds and have a look and see what's going on there. But by this time I'd had enough of it, and I opened the blinds, like I opened them completely, not open the louvers. And I thought, that's it. Whoever you are, you're just gonna get it. You're gonna get it from me because I'm not having anybody knock on my window and intimidate me like that. Anyway, I opened the window, and well, there was no one out there. And I thought, oh, I wonder what that was weird. And as I shut the window, I felt something crawl onto my fingers. And I was like, oh, freaking out because that's what we do. It was dark. I couldn't see this thing, right? So I closed the window and I'd hoped that when I flailed my arms like that it landed outside. Of course, I turned the light on by now and I look and it's a Wētā. I thought it was a cockroach at first, but looking at it, I'm like, oh, we've got a Wētā. And Baxter's most of the time sleeps in his bed on my bed in my bedroom. And I thought, how do I get this out without Baxter's notice? So I put a towel on it. I found a towel and I covered it with a towel. But the thing moved out of there. And before I knew it, it was running away and Baxter noticed it and Baxter was trying to grab it and I was trying to save it. And between him trying to grab it and me saving it, finally he grabbed it. But I think it was so wriggly in his mouth, all its little feelers in his mouth that he spat it out because it was obviously tickling him. Anyway, managed to get it out with the broom. But sadly, the next day I discovered that Wētā had not survived that because clearly when Baxter put it into his mouth, maybe as he spat it out, one of his teeth had pierced it or something. And so I thought, oh my goodness, that's like, I was very sad because I don't want to kill any Wētā. Not for those reasons. I didn't know about it for those reasons that it's an endangered species or there's more than 100 species of it or whatever. I've only discovered that now since the Wētā arrived on my window. Anyway, so I managed to put it in a safe place in the garden so that it could decompose or whatever the following day. And then I went to read up on the Wētā. And now I'm going to read about what the Wētā means when it comes into your space. Okay, let's read. The spiritual meaning of the Wētā. In Maori culture, the Wētā is a creature of the spirit world, often considered a guardian or protector of the forest, and a symbol of strength and resilience. When a Wētā knocks on your window, it is typically seen as a spiritual message related to perception, judgment, or the need for introspection. So it's really interesting because this is what else they say about it. God of ugly things. The name Wetapanga, because that's the name in Te Reo. Wetapanga translates to God of ugly things. This initial perception of ugliness highlights a deeper lesson about seeing past surface appearances. The general spiritual meaning is a Wētā's appearance is often interpreted as a reminder to open your heart and release judgment, urging you to see beyond physical appearances and appreciate the depth in both physical appearances and yes, sorry, I've said this wrong. I do that a lot. Excuse me, I'll read it again. A Wētā's appearance is often interpreted as a reminder to open your heart and release judgment, urging you to see beyond physical appearances and appreciate the depth in both yourself and others. Right. That was the one messenger. You've got Baxter barking at the moment. Right, so that was the one messenger. And then following that, we had a hedgehog in the garden. It was quite dramatic, the hedgehog in the garden. Yes, had to get Baxter inside. He was making quite a noise. So yes, we had a hedgehog in the garden on the night following the Wētā having come and drummed on the window. How do I find out about that? I sent Baxter out at 10:30 to, to do his toilet business in the garden, as we do before we go to bed. And I thought, well, I normally leave him there for like 5 minutes or something before I go back and check. And when I went out to check, Baxter was quite agitated. He was looking at something behind one of the potted plants and he was trying to figure it out. He was going forward and and stepping back and he was quite agitated because he just could not figure out what this was. He wanted to grab it, but he was a bit nervous because perhaps he'd already tried to and he felt a spike. Anyway, in the end, I was trying to get him away. He wouldn't get away. And the weirdest thing happened. I did not know that hedgehogs hopped. Did you know that? I had no idea because suddenly this thing, which at one point I thought might be a frog, but it wasn't, went from behind the potted plant and I'm going to say flew over, although it hopped so high and landed on the other side that it looked like it was flying in the air. I was freaking out because, oh my gosh, is this thing going to land on me? And I was trying to get Baxter out at the same time. It was hilarious. I mean, gosh, if you heard it, if you saw it, you would have thought, wow, does this woman have a dramatic streak in her or what? Anyway, in the end, I managed to shout at Baxter loud enough for him to pay attention and actually move because he wouldn't move. And excuse me, and he finally got into the house and I went back out to look at it and there it was. It was in a little ball. The hedgehog was in a ball and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we've got a hedgehog in the garden. How did that happen? Our garden is completely fenced. There must be a hole somewhere that it's come through that's dug somewhere. Something's dug a hole or something and come through." And I thought, wow, this is interesting. What I've discovered is, though, that hedgehogs eat wētās. So I don't know if it sniffed the dead wētā in the garden and thought, oh, I've got to go, there's food there, and managed to get itself into the garden. I've never had a hedgehog in this garden. We used to have a hedgehog family in the old in Bucklands Beach when we lived there. But so then I went up and I thought, I've got to look up what is the spiritual meaning of a hedgehog. Now, I don't know. Do you want to see a picture of a hedgehog? Let's show you a picture of the hedgehog, right? Because I mean, maybe some people don't know what a hedgehog looks like. Let's do this. Courtesy of Google, again, friends. And where are we? So this is the one I'll put up. And of course, it comes back to some article from the UK, the United Kingdom. And no, we don't get it, but here we are. Let's just see if we can get this one up. Right, that's the hedgehog. Hopefully not going to another, and there we go, another article, but that's your hedgehog. Um, and look, this one's great because it's showing you what it looks like from different angles. That's what the hedgehog looks like. I've been reading that in the UK, if you have a hedgehog in your garden, you cannot remove it. It's not allowed because hedgehogs are protected species. So there you go. That's a hedgehog. What is the spiritual meaning of? I'll stop sharing now. What's the spiritual meaning of a hedgehog? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Right. Spirituality. The hedgehog symbolizes protection, inner strength, and self-preservation through setting boundaries alongside themes of resourcefulness, adaptability, and finding comfort in simplicity. They also represent grounding, community when seen in groups, and sometimes fertility, while the famous hedgehog and the fox idea links them to having one big unifying idea in life. Right, key spiritual things. And I'm reading courtesy of Google, by the way, again. Multiple hedgehogs can suggest companionship and support. So they have a spiritual meaning as well. And so today, this video is to honor the spiritual messengers that have come into our garden. Yes, they almost got well. One ended up in its demise. The other one was saved. I managed to save the other one by getting the dog away. And now what we're doing is, in case the hedgehog's in the garden at night again, every night when he goes out, I'm outside with him and we put the lead on him so that he doesn't actually, so that if the hedgehog should be there, I'm able to grab the lead and get him out. It's an interesting time. I feel like the hedgehog and the Wētā are good omens that have come my way this week. And I hope for you, you are becoming aware of the good omens that are coming into your garden and, you know, bringing in blessings and abundance and protection and confirmation of these things. Because even if they don't necessarily physically bring in these things, but they bring in the energy, they bring in the confirmation of such things, right? And so I feel like I want to, oh, this is really interesting. I I thought there were two cards related to this message, and both of them come to six. This was, I couldn't quite make up my mind about them, but now as we speak, I think these are the cards. And this is from the Unicorn cards by Diana, the Magic of Unicorn Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. This is one the card that came forth for me. I felt, let's see if we could put it here and you can see it. Enter the Magic. It's a number six card. And what I like the number six is it's my life path number. And I feel like that's kudos, man. Kudos to me. Right. And what does it say? Live in the now, seize the moment. This is the number 24 card. Yeah. And it says, shower of blessings. Open yourself to receive. And the other word, very importantly, is pay it forward. I love that we can have such wonderful messages. And I want to see which one do we read because it's so amazing that we are so protected and there's so much good and so much love and so much assurance of the good things. I love this card, Enter the Magic. It's this one here. Oh, I love it. The number six card, right? Yeah, let's see if you can see it better. That side, yeah. It says, the past is over. The future is a clean slate. The present moment is the most important there will ever be in your life. The thoughts and feelings you have and the decisions you take this very instant will create your future. This is an all-chemical time of all possibilities. In this magical second, you can decide to receive the happiness you deserve. Your guidance is to ask your unicorn to hold you in a now moment. Use it with wisdom. Your unicorn is reminding you that soul satisfaction, contentment, and joy are your birthright. So, seize this opportunity to release all attachments to other time frames. I feel it's so weird. This is so synchronistic because I planned to do this message, but I didn't, given which day of the year we're doing it on, or this message goes live, and that we're at the end of 2025, I feel like it's such a good, encouraging message for the future. When you have done so, meaning released all your attachments to other time frames, when you have done so, practice living in the now so that each moment becomes a happy, healthy, and love-filled present. A contented or joyful present automatically creates a beautiful future. And you don't even have to plan it. It will inevitably come to you if you choose to enrich the present moment. Remember that unicorns and the angelic realms are supporting you with love. So allow yourself to bathe in the wonder of today, and you will step graciously into a magical tomorrow. Friends, what can I say? But this, you are hopefully in a quiet place. Let's call in the energy of the unicorns. And as you do that, so I've got to tell you, if you don't know this about me, I have a few unicorns that are my guides. I have dark, yes, it's a black unicorn with a diamond horn, pitch black. I have gray bubble, yeah, gray bubbles on the unicorn. I have cherry blossom, lots of cherry blossoms in the mane and the tail. And she's kind of a pink shade of white. Oh, yeah. And I have stellanite. Stellanite is my very personal unicorn. Stellanite has a lilac mane and a lilac tail. And stellanite has lilac eyes. Can you imagine that? And anytime I need them, I can call upon them. Let's take a moment to breathe as we are finding our quiet space, or we are already in our quiet space, and close your eyes. We're calling in the energy of the unicorns. A ball of diamond white sparkling light forms around us individually. Imagine us all in our own individual diamond white sparkling light ball, a ball with diamond white sparkling light. You're rising up in the ball as if it is a fast lift, rising up and rising up and rising up. You are in a high frequency space above your life right now. I'm here, above there, right above there. There is no past. There is no future. There is just now. Only the magic of right now, this moment. For a moment, pure unicorn light purifies and illuminates your aura. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. See it. Anything is possible now. Bathe in the moment. And as you are here, before we return to Earth, communicate with your personal unicorn. Just clearing. Listen to any messages from your unicorn. Remember that anything is possible. Bathe yourself in this moment of anything is possible. Remind yourself that you can bring on the energy of anything is possible in any moment, in an instant. Release yourself from all those thought patterns that keep you stuck. Release yourself from all those thought patterns that tell you cannot do or be that amazing you that you are, or you cannot have those amazing dreams come true. Remember, that's not the voice of the higher self. That is not the high vibrational frequency. So every time those thoughts come to you, remember this moment that anything is possible. Ask your unicorn to remind you, ask your unicorn to be with you, to remind you of the magic that is your life. Bathing in the moment of anything is possible. Because remember, in the energy, a moment can be a lifetime. I hope, my friends, that you have been ignited for anything is possible, that you've been ignited to step into your magic, that you have been ignited to move forward freely and see all the possibilities of your life, and to move forward without inhibitions, without programming, without anything standing in your way, especially the mind, especially the limitations of your thoughts. Now return to earth, come back down. And as you come back into your space where you were before you left off in your ball of diamond white light, open your eyes, take a deep breath, and step into the magic of now. Thank you, universe. Thank you, unicorns. Thank you for your help and support. Thank you, angels. Kiramaku tenakarabaku tufarakitakarochu makurtepe. Orama ketatata orakana rekarani kurana makarurana dikari guru de la lulu schola la achkura awantada. And la karuju wakaskatba ornaka. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Friends, come back to now. Thanking Diana Cooper and the guidance out of this book. And as you come back, give yourself the space and the time to integrate the light code. I will encourage you, please go out and ground yourself. Walk in the garden. If you're near the sea, walk on the seaside, on the dirt, on the sand. We say for sand, dirt in New Zealand. And just trust your process. Trust that the universe is looking after you. Trust that if you can do a meditation every day as if there wasn't a past or a future, and there was just the now, and that you are in the magic of the now, then you can imagine a future from that specific moment that is amazing, that is going to open you up, that is going to be empowerment, is going to be joy, it's going to be all of those things. Thank you, beloved friends. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking your time to be here. I'll catch you next time. Namaste.